Hi, welcome on Game Anomaly channel. I am George, and today we're gonna look at some double jump. Last time we ended up here, where we can only jump once, and no matter how many times I press the space button, the character jumps only once and cannot jump in the air. So we ended up probably with code looking something like this. I was a little bit tinkering with the code, so it might be slightly different, but it should be super similar. And I found out that managing our inputs in fixed update is horribly wrong. So let's move our horizontal and vertical inputs into a classic update. Like this. This should be much better because fixed update is repeating maybe like 3 times and it's made for physics to be updated and not for inputs. So this should be much more responsive now. Also, the is grounded condition should probably be in the update method for the same reasons. So we're gonna put our jumping method alone in the fixed update and move the is grounded to the update. And now we need something to tell our jump method that it can jump. So we need some boolean which will tell us that we can jump. So let us create private boolean can jump, which will be false at first, but if we are on the ground it will be true. And in our jump method, which is in our character jump script, we need to check if the can jump value is true. So if something, and we're gonna be doing our code. And the something is the can jump from our character input controller. Since the boolean is private, we cannot access it right now. We could make it public, but I rather use properties. First of all, it's best practice to use properties. If you don't know what property is, it's pretty much making sure that you cannot access the variable directly, and you can maybe change it when somebody's taking the number or the value, or when somebody wants to write the value, you can modify it before it's modified by the user. So we can use snippet for property. If you write prop and press tabulator, it's gonna create a property named my property, and it's gonna be bool, and the name should usually be the name of the variable, which in our case is can jump, but with a capital first letter. So let us make it can jump with capital letter. And I also like to make it more readable for more people, so I'm gonna create the extended version, which is like this. This is much more readable. And now if we save it and try to access it in our other scripts, we can do that, but first we need to create a reference to our character input controller Same way as we are accessing the method jump, we have created a reference for our script character jump, and the same way we need to create a reference in our character jump to our character controller if we want to access the value. So it's gonna be private character input controller, and I'm gonna name it input controller, and we need to cache it in our awake method. Input controller is equal to get component and the name of the script, character input controller, and it's a method like that. And now we can access our boolean from the input controller. Can jump is accessible, and as you can see, it's with the capital C. The first letter is capital as our property. So again, in our update, if we are grounded, we are changing the can jump to true, which will tell our jump method, if the can jump is true, that the jump itself occur, and the jump method is called in every fixed update. Okay, I forgot, we need to set our can jump to false after we are done with the jump. So let us set the can jump to false. Also, I don't want the vertical input to be passed to our method, because I thought that the vertical input is gonna be same as the horizontal, which is gonna be 0 to 1 and every value between 0 and 1. But the jump is from 0 to 1 always. There's nothing between it. So I'm gonna get rid of it. And instead of passing the vertical to our method, I'm gonna make the method have its own vector. So we're not gonna be expecting any value for vertical. And instead of our vector that we've been previously creating from the vertical value, we're gonna have our own vector. So I'm gonna delete this line also. And we're gonna create our vector in our character jump, which will always be vector2.up. Let us try it. Okay, so now we are always jumping when we are grounded, which is not exactly what I wanted. So let us change the behavior. We need to add condition to our if statement, not only if we are grounded, but also if we are pressing some button. So input.get key down, keycode.w, like this. And now everything should be working as before. Okay, we can jump as before, and now we can start working on our double jump. First, in our character jump, we need some value that will store how many times we can jump in the air. So let's call it private integer maximum jumps, like that. Let's put there, let's say 1 for now. Also, we need to create property for our value because it's private, and we're gonna be using it. We're gonna be using it in our character input controller. So the same way as we did our property for can jump, we're gonna create a property for maximum jumps. Like this. So this is gonna be our maximum value of jumps in the air. Also, we need a value that will store our current number of jumps that we have already used. So let us create that. So it's gonna be jump count, and we are also gonna need our property for jump count. Like this. So now we have our two values which are integers, and since we have property for them, we can use it in our character input controller script. Let's also tell our script that our jump count starts at 0. And when our jump method is gonna go through, we're gonna be always adding +1 jump count to our value jump count, because when we jump, we're gonna be storing that we already jumped once. So there is gonna be jump count plus. And also when we gonna land on the ground, we need to reset our jump count to 0. So this is gonna be easy. In our update, we are gonna make condition if is grounded is true. We are gonna change our value of jump count to 0, like this. And I'm gonna a little bit modify our if statement here, because we don't need both of the statements here. I'm gonna create one big if statement, which is gonna be asking if we pressed W. There are more lines of code, but it's because I want to do something else in our first if statement. So if we are pressing W, and also if we are grounded, our value can jump is true, which is the same as before. But I also want else if there, which is gonna be asking if our jump count is lower than the maximum number of jumps that we are allowing to have on our character. So let's add this condition here. And here we are gonna also put end condition, which is gonna be asking for our second press or third, or how many we are gonna be pressing buttons to jump again. Like this. And we are also gonna change our can jump to true. And only here we're gonna be adding our plus to the jump count, because we don't want to count our previous jump as the bonus jump. So let us try that now. So it's working as intended. I can jump twice, and if I run off this ledge, I can only jump once and not twice, which is good, which is the way as I intended. And we achieved that by counting our jump only in the air, because here we are pretty much asking if we're pressing the W. If we are pressing W, we are asking if we are grounded. If we are grounded, we're gonna be jumping, and we are not gonna be counting that as a plus jump. And only if we are in the air, so if we are pressing W and we are not grounded, this condition will be satisfied, and we're gonna be also jumping, but at top of that we're also gonna be counting that jump as the bonus jump. So if I'm gonna change our maximum jump back to 0, so we're gonna have 0 bonus jumps, we should have our character normally behaving with 1 jump. As you can see, I can jump once, and if I press the button more times, it's gonna be still jumping once. Now the character is behaving when I press jump and not release the key. I'm still pressing the key. The character is not jumping. If you want your character to be even jumping after that, it's pretty much easily made with this line of code. In our character input controller, you're gonna be changing the get key down to get key, and I'm also gonna try it with 1 bonus jump. Now if I press the W and I still hold the W, my character is jumping, and I can still jump in the air, and if I still have the W pressed down, the character is jumping, which is exactly what we wanted. I'm super glad that you made it this far. If you want to let me know that you liked the video, you can press the like down below. Also, you can check this video if I already made it in the future, and you can press subscribe for any of the future videos. That's gonna be it for me, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!